Hello, good to see you. Oh, do you know what this is? Do you know what this is? Do you know what this is? I know this one, I've asked quite a few people what this is. Well, in the old days when businessmen and businesswomen got together and they signed a contract or agreement, they had a very expensive pen or one of those felt pen or one of those wooden one to write. And that was for drying it. So they wrote and they had to dry it, otherwise there would have been problem. Not many people knew that. During the last few years, I asked everyone who kind of a friend or an acquaintance or somebody who works for us, ask them what this is, they didn't know. So I think with business, it's a little bit like that. It's very confusing. And there are so many people who gave a very good advice, and please watch those. But I also give you my take. And we're talking essentially about UK. What's the purpose of starting a business? Well, everything is a kind of a business. Even husband and wife getting together is a way of a business, because in the old days, especially with the royal families of Europe, India, Africa, what was happening, because of becoming stronger and the money to stay among them, they got together. So think about that, right? Good. So sometime I know in the Middle East, in many countries, when women and men come together, they have to consider the families. So that's something to consider. But let's look at the more basic thing of business. Well, you can start a business by having a limited company, but don't rush into it. One can start a little business like many people, like coffee shops who started from their home, making sandwiches and selling. But they didn't immediately start a limited company. The ethics of any business is also important. So ethics is important. So you have to know why you are, sorry about that. It's been very windy today, and I was not very careful with when I was sleeping, didn't cover myself. So what happens is we have to really be aware that why we are starting the business. Is it just to make money? Why do we want to make money? What's the purpose of making money? Is it to buy properties, to be happy? There are a lot of rich men who are very unhappy. So, but let's look at the ethical side. The ethical side is to do it because you want to provide a service. Okay, so that's a little bit of background. So let's say you want to start a business in UK. You want to buy a shop, or are you going to pay a premium for a business already going on? Do you want to go to franchise business? All those things must be considered. I'm not going to give you every single thing. There are so many other people out there. Right, good. So maybe now look at pros and cons of starting a business. Well, I count to one, two, three. What do you think? Well, I'm sure you will say the freedom. Yes, freedom of starting, getting up, and then starting it. Or staying up till very late at night to work on your project. Let's say you are a, I don't know, web designer, and it's your own business. So you can decide what you want to do. So you're your own boss. You can choose what time. So whatever you spend and make money, you have a better control of it. You don't have to go from the hours of 9 to 5. So that's something I think quite important. What else? Well, there are 101 things. Obviously, if you have a shop, then you usually open 9 or 10 o'clock and you close at 6, 7, 8 o'clock. But then you have got a lot of other things to do. You in UK, reasonably starting a business is not too complicated. You usually it's good to have an accountant. Usually a lawyer can be useful at some stage, not immediately. If you have to get a shop, then you have to buy the lease. The lease could be a premium of maybe 50,000, 20,000, or sometimes a shop is empty and you don't need any money for that, just the rent. Rent is UK is very high. Life is extremely expensive. I think since, it went more expensive after 1979 with the lovely Mrs. Thatcher. She revolutionized in some ways the UK commerce and financial situation. The country became more of a financial city and service industry rather than actually doing a lot of production of things. So lots of things happened, properties went up, good and bad with that. Now is much more difficult to start a business in UK, but outside London and the big city, something extremely, well, much easier, let's say. So that's that. Taxes, obviously you have to pay tax. You make money, you pay taxes. But if you don't make enough, then you don't pay much tax. So there is regulation. A good, decent accountant can advise you about all aspects of it. Okay, so what shall we talk about? I think that's good for now because I don't want to overwhelm you and get you bored with irrelevant information. There are so many videos and so many things, but I want you to think of it as a fun thing also, because whether you want to open a shop to sell sandwiches or you want to be a service industry to sort out things, people's mobile, there are all different things, and with all you have to think about it. But most important thing, go and work for someone before you start your own business. So if you want to start a restaurant, or if you think you're a chef, you're a fantastic chef, but just being a chef, it doesn't mean you can run a restaurant. There are very good chefs who do not know how to run a restaurant. So go and do that. If you want to be a hotelier, go and work for 3-6 months, even get half the salary, so that part of your contract with that business is that they teach you. So they have to teach you. If they don't teach you, they're naughty people. And we don't want people to be sort of not honest, because honesty is the best policy. And you know that in the world right now, because of all the chaos, what do we face? Countries which are each of them thinking about their own country as a business. Really, they want to make money and they want to be powerful. So therefore, we see from day one till whatever business we are, essentially is the same thing. It's communication, mediation, compromise, and being nice to yourself and to those who you help. See you soon. Please, hopefully you like, but we love you, and put some comments. See you soon.